Hello there, future RNs. There are different models that try to explain our behaviors in relation to our health. And one of these is the health belief model. The health belief model was created by Rosenstock and Becker in the 1950s and updated in 1988. This model is based on the assumption that health-related actions are based on the simultaneous presence of three beliefs. First, this health problem is important to me. Second, I am vulnerable to this health problem. And third, doing this action about this health problem will be beneficial. So in other words, number one and number two are about the health problem, and number three is a belief about the action. Let us see the beliefs about the health problem. First is perceived severity of the health problem. Can I die from it? Can it disable me? Can it interfere with my goals, needs, or wants? So ito yung mga questions na sasagutin natin para malaman natin kung serious ba ang isang health problem para sa atin. For instance, cancer is usually considered as a serious health problem kasi nakakamatay yan, nakaka-disable, at dahil nagkasakit ka, it can interfere with your goals, needs, or wants. Pero may mga tao rin na ang tingin nila sa cancer ay hindi naman talaga serious kasi sinasabi nila nagagamot naman ngayon ang cancer. This is true. So, it would vary from person to person kasi nga belief ito, not necessarily based on facts. On the other hand, na naman natin yung another health problem, which is a pimple. For most of us, hindi naman serious ang magkaroon ng pimple. Pero kung ikaw ay isang commercial model o isang artista at ang iyong capital ay iyong magandang muka at yung makinis na skin mo, then a single pimple for you may be considered as a serious health problem, di ba? Another belief about a health problem is perceived susceptibility to the health problem. What is the chance that I will get it? So for instance, dun sa family mo, meron kayong history na dun sa past 3 generations, merong 20 na members ng family na nagkaroon ng cancer. So, ang tingin mo, mataas ang chance na magkaka-cancer ka. Kasi meron kang family history nga eh. Another belief is the perceived threat of the health problem. So, how dangerous is it for me? To summarize, ito yung mga beliefs about the health problem. Perceived severity or the seriousness of the health problem. Perceived susceptibility, yung chance na magkakaroon ka ng health problem na yon. Idagdag mo itong dalawang to, so ang result nito is the perceived threat, your perception of how dangerous the health problem is for you. So nakita na natin yung beliefs about the health problem, tingnan naman natin yung beliefs about a particular action. First is the perceived benefits of the action. How effective is the action in preventing, alleviating, or eliminating the health problem? For example, balik tayo doon sa cancer. Merong vaccines na pwede makaprotect against certain types of cancer. For example, Hep B vaccine can protect you against hepatitis B, which in turn can protect you against liver cancer. Kasi mas malaki ang chance na magkakaroon ka ng liver cancer kung magkakaroon ka ng hepatitis B. Kaya pag na-prevent ang hepatitis B, lesser ang chance na magkakaroon ka ng liver cancer. HPV vaccine or human papilloma virus vaccine can protect you against cancers of the genitals and the anus. Kasi pinoprotect ka from certain infections that can lead to an increased risk for cancer. Beliefs about an action will also consist of perceived barriers to the action. So is the action affordable and accessible? For instance, alam mo na merong vaccine pero kaya mo ba na bayaran? May access ka ba? Kasi kunwari, tatawid ka pa ng 10 bundok bago ka makarating doon sa vaccine, then ang tendency ay para sa'yo, barrier yon, grabing barrier. Then what are the risks, inconveniences, and unpleasantness related to the action? Ikaw ay merong phobia sa needles. Takot na takot ka na matutusok ka. So yon ay considered na something so unpleasant that can serve as a barrier to the action. Para ma-summarize naman yung beliefs about an action, perceived benefits itong mga positive aspects ng action minus the perceived barriers, itong mga negative aspects ng action will influence the likelihood of taking action. Kaya kung mas malaki, mas mabigat yung mga perceived benefits, much more than the perceived barriers, mas likely na magtitake ka ng action. Pero kung mas grabe yung mga barriers kaysa sa perceived benefits, then less likely na magtitake ka ng action. So, nakita na natin yung dalawang sets of beliefs. Beliefs about a health problem and beliefs about an action. Tingnan naman natin yung mga modifying variables. Ito yung nakaka-influence naman dito sa two sets of beliefs na to. First is demographic variables such as age, sex, race, ethnicity, socioeconomic status, and education. So for instance, obesity is considered to be a health problem by many. Pero kung gaano ka-severe yan ay mai-influence for example ng iyong age. Kasi kung ikaw ay teenager at very conscious ka sa appearance mo at ikaw ay mataba, then ang tendency para sa iyo ay napaka-serious na ng health problem na yon. On the other hand, ikaw naman ay elderly na, tapos ang sinasabi mo, normal naman talaga habang tumatanda, ay tumataba. So para sa iyo, hindi health problem ang obesity. So it's influenced by age, among other factors. Modifying variables can also consist of social psychological variables such as social pressure or influence from others plus your personality. So for instance, ikaw nga ay teenager, tapos obese ka. Ang pressure galing sa peers mo ay grabe, ang taba-taba, ayaw namin sa'yo, ayaw namin makibarkada sa'yo kasi ayaw namin makasama ang mga matataba. So, very intense ang social pressure for you to lose weight. Personality mo naman ay, kunwari, mababa ang iyong self-esteem. Tapos, ginaganon ka pa nga ng mga peers mo. So, ang tendency, mas na-influence ka to lose weight kasi ayaw mo na bumaba lalo ang iyong self-esteem. Pumapangit ang tingin mo sa sarili mo dahil sa treatment ng galing sa mga peers mo. Modifying variables can also take the form of structural variables such as knowledge about the health problem or prior contact with it. So, tingnan natin yung prior contact or experience with the health problem of obesity. Mataba ka dati, nag-lose ka ng weight dahil nag-exercise ka at nag-diet ka. So, ano ngayon ang tingin mo doon sa action na yon? Effective. But, hindi mo na-sustain ang iyong weight loss. Nag-regain ka ng weight kasi ang sarap kumain, ang sarap magpakatamad na nag-games ka lang na nakaupo. So ano ngayon ang perception mo? Grabe yung barrier dun sa health action na yon. Tapos, anong perception mo about the health problem of obesity? Sabi mo, obese nga ako, pero hindi naman ako nagkakasakit. So, hindi naman serious na health problem yan. So, these are variables that can influence your perception about the disease or the health problem and perception about the action. Aside from these modifying variables, meron ding tinatawag na cues to action. These cues to action are triggers that prompt an action. So, ito yung magpupush sa'yo para mag-take action. So, for example, pwede yung internal or external. Tingnan natin yung mga examples. Internal cues to action may take the form of pain and other symptoms. So, for instance, ikaw ay mataba, tapos sobra na ang hingal mo, nag-chest pain ka na, o sumasakit na ang tiyan mo sa konting exertion lang. So, ano ang tendency? Hoy, kailangan meron na akong gawin kasi grabe na to. Serious na yata itong problema ko. There could also be external cues to action such as events, information from others such as the media and healthcare providers. So for instance, dun sa community ninyo ay merong 3 tao na na-stroke. Sunod-sunod sila na-stroke. Nabalitaan mo yan. At lahat sila ay obese. So ano ngayon ang magiging tendency na gagawin mo? Ay, grabe. Baka ako nasusunod. Kailangan magpapayat na ako. So nag-trigger na mag-take action ka. Or information from others such as the media. Napanood mo doon sa TV, yung tungkol sa dangers of obesity. O kaya, may nagbigay sa'yo ng health teachings na nurse or another healthcare provider tungkol sa risk ng obesity. So, ang tendency matri-trigger na mag-take ka ng action. Another factor is self-efficacy. This is the person's belief that he can successfully do the action. So, parang sinasabi mo, kaya ko yan. On the other hand, pag low ang iyong self-efficacy, ay hindi ko kaya. Hindi ko kaya mag-diet, ang sarap kumain. Hindi ko kaya na mag-exercise, nakakahingal. Okay, so kung ganon ang iyong thinking, then ang tendency, hindi mo gagawin yung action. Diba? So let's put all the components together. But before we do that, if you have not subscribed yet, please click the subscribe button. Okay, tingnan na natin yung mga components. Diba? Dalawa ang sets ng beliefs. First is the beliefs about the health problem. So, perceived severity, how serious the health problem is, and perceived susceptibility, at risk ba ako dito sa health problem na to? Another set of belief is pertaining to the action. First, perceived benefits. Ano ba ang makukuha ko na positive pag ginawa ko ito? And perceived barriers. What would hinder me from doing these actions? Na-access ko ba? Can I afford it? Marami bang mga discomforts na may experience ko? So, yan yung dalawang sets of beliefs. These two sets of beliefs are influenced by modifying variables which consist of demographic, such as age, gender, race, ethnicity, socioeconomic status, education, etc. Pwede rin ang socio-psychological, so social pressure yan, psychological, personality. Structural refers to knowledge and prior contact with the health problem. So beliefs in turn will influence the likelihood of taking a particular action. So kung ang tingin mo ay major na threat yung health problem, then mas likely na magte-take ka ng action. Kung ang tingin mo ay mas grabe yung mga benefits compared dun sa barriers, mas likely na magte-take ka ng action. The likelihood of taking action is influenced by self-efficacy, your belief that you can do it. Kung sa tingin mo ay kaya mong gawin yung action, then likely na gagawin mo yung action. Pero kung sa tingin mo naman ay hindi mo kaya, then it is less likely that you will take the action. And finally, the cues to action serve as triggers to push you towards doing the action. Ito yung magmo-motivate sa'yo, oy, kailangan kumilos ka na. Kung hindi, masama ang mangyayari. So, yan ang health belief model. So, let's apply the model. Health problem is COVID-19 and the health action is getting the COVID-19 vaccine. Bakit ba nung nagkaroon ng COVID-19, may mga tao na nagpabakuna kaagad? Yun namang iba, natapos na yung pandemic, hindi pa rin nagpapabakuna. Ano kaya yung mechanism na nangyari kung bakit naging ganito ang kanilang health behaviors? First, let's see the modifying variables. Ito yung situation. Itong case na to ay 30 years old na married na male nurse with 2 children. And he's the only breadwinner in the family. So, yan yung demographic variables niya. Sa socio-psychological naman, yung workplace niya, tatrabaho siya sa hospital, requires a vaccine. Siyempre, di ba? Structural variable, knowledge yan, di ba? So, he knows that COVID-19 is infectious and a vaccine is available. Ano ang perceived threat of the health problem? COVID-19 can kill. So, yun ang belief nung nurse na to. Kasi nga, alam naman niya, di ba, na may mga namamatay na. Tapos, I am susceptible to COVID-19 kasi wala pa akong bakuna. Tapos, yung trabaho ko pa, na-expose ako sa mga tao na pwedeng yun pala ay nagkikerry ng COVID-19. And pag ako ay nagkaroon ng sakit, pwede ko ma-transmit yan to other people, like for example, to my family. So, for me, COVID-19 is a major threat. Ano naman yung beliefs niya about the action? Ang action dito, di ba, is getting the vaccine. First, yung benefit. The vaccine will protect me. Kasi magko-confer yan ng immunity. The vaccine will allow me to work kasi 'di ba requirement ng hospital na kailangan lahat ng nagtatrabaho doon ay magpabakuna. Ano naman yung barrier? There are possible side effects. May mga major side effects such as blood clots. Meron ding mga minor side effects such as flu-like symptoms. Baka lalagnatin ako, hindi ako makakapasok sa trabaho. So, yan yung evaluation niya dun sa pagpapakuna. So, this will influence the likelihood of taking action, yung perceived threat, and the evaluation of the action. But self-efficacy is another factor. O di ba, natatakot siya tungkol sa side effects eh. Pero ang iniisip niya, I can overcome my fear. So kaya ko yan. And cues to action, ano yan? Uy, dumami yung mga cases ng COVID-19 at maraming namamatay. So ano na ang kanyang magiging decision? Ay, kailangan magpabakuna na ako. Ayaw kong mamatay. Ayaw kong magkaroon ng COVID-19. So ito yung mga factors na work hand in hand. So, nagkakaroon ng interplay kung bakit nagde-decide ngayon yung tao na 'to na magpapabakuna siya. What about yung mga hindi nagpabakuna? Let's look at an extreme case. Okay, first the modifying variable. Itong tao na 'to is a member of a cult that believes in conspiracy theories. So, ang paniwala nila ay yung mga gobyerno ay nag-decide na ila-lockdown ang bansa para makontrol yung mga tao, kaya inimbento nila ang COVID-19. So, perceived threat of the problem, ano ang belief? COVID-19 fake yan. Hindi totoo yan. And since fake yan, so COVID-19 is not a threat. Ano magiging threat yan? Hindi nga nag-exist eh. Evaluation of the action, di ba ang action is vaccine? Since peke lang naman ang COVID-19, then vaccine is not needed. In fact, yung vaccine dapat hindi natin i-receive kasi way yan ng governments para makontrol ang population. May mga pinapasok sila through the vaccine, papasok yan sa ating katawan. Tapos, pag pumasok sa katawan natin, makokontrol na tayo. At dahil dito, anong likelihood of taking the action? Unlikely to take the action. Bakit ka magpapakuna? Hindi ka nga naniniwala na meron talagang COVID-19, therefore, para sa'yo, hindi importante magpabakuna, so hindi ka magpapabakuna. So, I have given extreme examples. Yung isa ay mostly positive, ito naman ay lahat ay negative, kaya very clear na hindi siya magpapabakuna. But there are gradations in different persons. May mga tao, di ba, hindi nagpabakuna nung una, pero later on ay nagpabakuna na. May mga tao naman, unang-una pa lang nung yung vaccine ay available, gusto na nila agad magpabakuna. Kasi iba-iba yung mga beliefs ng mga tao. Therefore, iba-iba rin ang mga behaviors. So, in summary, our beliefs will influence our behaviors. Therefore, our health beliefs will influence our health behaviors.